y'all. Yeah. How y'all doing? Happy birthday to you. It's today your birthday. Yay. Y'all, we got a lot to talk about today. Y'all come on in. Like, share, and subscribe to the video. We appreciate it. And we're going to get into where was the administrators, coaches, and trainers in relations to the tents. I want to talk about that. And y'all know I've been on it for a long time. Y'all know I've been talking about it. That's where my blame's going to fall on. Okay? My blame is not going to fall on two young guys. This is where my blame is going to fall down on. Where were the administrators, coaches, trainers in relation to the tents and security? I forgot security. Oh Lord, let me add security, honey. Oh yeah. We want to put a little controversy in it, so we're gonna say put everybody in it. Ain't that the truth? Hello, y'all. Y'all come on in. Come in. Oh shoot, I should have never touched this. Hold on, y'all. Come in, y'all. Come in. Let's talk. Okay, y'all. I want to share something with y'all. I hope everybody doing okay. I want to get into my content today, and when you get a chance, go back and check it out, okay? Because I'm about to get into Karmelo, Anthony, and Austin Metcalf. Okay, so I have a question, and my question is, where were the administrators, security, coaches, trainers, relations to the tents? Okay. And I want to start right here talking about the law at the track meet. Want to talk about, hold on, y'all come on in. I want to talk about trespassing. Okay? Just in case y'all don't know, just in case a lot of you people don't know about track meets, okay? And the duties and responsibility of a coach, duty and responsibility of the athletes, duty and responsibility captain, co-captain. Okay, and the law. Okay, so that's where I stand. I want to talk about that. Okay, because it hurts me. I hate that this happened to these boys. Both young men lost their lives at a track meet. Both of them. Their career over with. Now, the first thing came to my mind, y'all, about this track meet was, first of all, I want to say I appreciate y'all. Appreciate everything that y'all do for the channel. Thanks for the cash out. It's to try to help me get a better computer area. There's a lot of stuff that I need, you know. I wish I had got all this stuff before I left school, but I didn't. But I want to say that, yes, entering... Listen now before you get upset. Entering or remaining on another team's tent without their permission or without having been given explicit permission could be considered trespassing in Texas. Listen to what I just said. I said a whole lot. Y'all come on in, hit that like button, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. But you know the real deal, gonna keep it real on ticket, right? Y'all come in. I just said a whole lot just then. Hold on for a second. Y'all come in. Y'all do that. Let me do something right quick. Let me change something up here. Okay. Uh-oh. Hold on, y'all. I messed up. Hold on. Just messed up. Y'all, get y'all time up to come in, okay? I'm sorry. Do everything by myself. So anytime you want to stick your neck in and you want to help out with the channel, I appreciate you, okay? But you got to be about business. Still, it's, oh, I got too much. Hold on, y'all. I got too much. I can't even put all that on. Hold on for a minute. Because what I'm going to do today is like, ooh, my stomach just growling. I am going to, I'm going to have to take this off. Hold on, y'all. I got too many words. Hold on. So I had to take out security. Hold on a second. How everybody doing today? Because I'm going to change my title up here. I'm probably going to end up change it anyway. Track meat. Let me put meat. Okay, here we go. Let me see if it'll take it in. Okay, I have questions. And I want to get where I just came from. I want to go back to something that y'all really not talking about. Trespassing. Okay, let me do this. Hold on, y'all. Y'all, come on, get the lights up. Get the lights up. Get the lights up, y'all. We got to get the lights up. Got to get the lights up, okay? Because I got some information that I need to pull on y'all. Got to get in. Got to come on. Get the lights up. Now, Lord, I have so many questions. I've changed it to FRISCO track meet tent trespassing. I'm gonna get into that. I can change everything else later. I want to get into y'all trespassing. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about FRISCO track meet tent trespassing. Okay. Just in case you didn't know, that entering and remaining on another team tent without their permission or without having been given any type of permission could be considered trespassing in Texas. Now, Texas criminal trespass law states that entering, listen, y'all, because y'all better, y'all, you get the lights up, because y'all about to be woo with funny at the grandma Lanita, but y'all know how I am. I'm for the kids anyway. So y'all got no, I don't know why I keep clearing my throat. Texas criminal trespass law states that entering or remaining on someone else's property without their consent, and will notice that you're not supposed to be there, is a misdemeanor offense. Did y'all did anyone out there know this? Did y'all know this? Did anybody out there know this information I'm just giving to y'all? Huh? Did you know that in Texas, listen now, entering or remaining. So did Karmelo enter the tent? Yes. Did he remain? Yes. Okay. Under another team tent? Yes. Without their permission? Yes. Okay. Or without having been given permission? Yes. Could be considered trespassing in Texas. Now, Texas criminal trespass law states that entering or remaining on someone else's property without their consent and with notice that you're not supposed to be there is a misdemeanor offense. Just in case y'all didn't know that. Now, change my picture. I want to ask y'all people, did y'all know that about the trespass? Because y'all not talking about trespassing. But Lanita is. Y'all know how I am. We're going to talk about stuff like that. Because it is important to know whether or not this young man was trespassing. I don't care nothing about no rain. Track runners get wet. So rain don't excuse for me to be under your tent. Okay? Now, here why it could be considered trespassing what Karmelo did. A tent, especially if set up on private property, is considered the property of the team that owns it and has authority over the use of that space, y'all. That's how it is at the track meet. Okay? Let me say it again. A tent, especially if set up on private property, is considered the property of the team that owns it and has authority over the use of that space. Now I had to go back into my rules, my United States track and field rules, and read a lot of rules. It's a lot of rules. Now, God, if I did anybody else on Metcalf team given Karmelo that permission to enter their tent? See, so many questions that y'all and answers that y'all looking over in this situation. It's a lot of things that y'all looking over. Did he ask someone, could he come over here? He said, did somebody see him from his team sitting up on the tent and then say nothing to him? Now, so you got to find out that information. Did anybody get from their team gave him that permission to enter their tent? Now, okay, if there's an understanding that you're allowed to be there, your entry would likely be considered without their consent. Okay. Okay. Now, listen to this. Now, the restrictions. If the team has signs, verbal warnings, or other form of notice indicating that interest is prohibiting, that will be considered notice under Texas law. And entering or remaining despite that notice could lead to charges. Listen to what I'm saying. First of all, somebody should have been under that tent. That team tent name is on that tent. Your team name not even on that tent. It ain't you can sit anywhere you want to sit at. Not on their tent. That's their tent with book bags and everything up under it. Okay. Now it would have been good if they were trying to hold that whole area. Been good if they had book bags up under that tent. I didn't see book bag, but I don't know. I have to look again. Okay, I just want to get to the tent thing. If the team has signs, they don't have any signs or verbal warnings or other form of notice indicating that entry is prohibiting, that would be considered notice under Texas law. And entering or remaining despite that notice could lead to charges. Now, it turned into this case situation turned into trespassing. Okay. Criminal, they trespass at a track meet. I'm just giving y'all the little things that I look at my handbook. Now, if the team or the property owner decided to press charges, you could face a misdemeanor charge, criminal trespass. Now, y'all keep using the rain for an excuse. I don't care how hard it will pour down. So if it were pouring down that hard, why my Austin them not sitting under their own tent if it were pouring down like that? Think about what y'all saying when y'all say it. See, they put stuff like that so y'all can talk about. Now, it's important, people, to note that notice, I didn't see any notice out there. I just saw a tent with their name on. Can be given verbally, in writing, through various other means like signs, fencing, according to guide or trespass law. Now, this is going to take you back. Did the stadium have any trespassing law? And if they did, how they using it in this situation? Now, I'm going to let y'all listen to this. And then we're going to get educated some more. Okay? Now, just remember what we just talked about. Okay? Okay, I'm going to put These young men faces up there. Move my beautiful face. Okay. Okay, let me put this picture up here. I'm gonna put this picture right here. Hold on here. Okay. I'm gonna put young man face right here. Okay. Let's look at this, listen to this, and then I'm gonna take it somewhere else.
Everyone, the 17-year-old accused of stabbing and killing another teenager at a track meet in Frisco ISD in the Dallas area is out of jail this morning, and his bond has been significantly lowered. He claims he stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf as a form of self-defense. Senior legal analyst Chris Tridico stuck around this morning to weigh in on this one. Welcome and thanks for being here. What is your thought when you hear something like this, that his bond was lowered?
Well, it was probably the right thing to do. Under Texas law, the judge looks at several factors: the prior criminal history of the defendant, his ties to the community, and things like that. And when the judge looked at those factors in this case, they weighed in favor of reducing the bond from $1 million. And the defense asked for $150,000. The judge reduced it to $250,000. Put an ankle monitor on and put him on home confinement. And he has to call in and talk to the bailiff in the courtroom every Friday.
And we heard from his family, and they kept repeatedly saying, look, we have ties to Frisco. He's not a flight risk.
Right.
He's never done anything wrong before and been in trouble with the law. Did that
factors laid out in the Code of Criminal Procedure and case law that says these are the things that the judge looks at in determining what the amount of bond should be. Bond cannot be used as an instrument of oppression. In other words, we can't make it so high that the defendant can never get out of jail.
One thing that's come out of all of this is we found out in the very beginning that Anthony asked officers, can I be in trouble because I feel like this was self-defense? And he said, could this be self-defense? What do we know about this? We understand it was a seating issue, a misunderstanding. What have you found out about it?
So he was at a high school track meet. And at a high school track meet, every high school sets up a tent, and their players sit under their tent during the meet, so they're not just sitting out in the sun. Anthony was in another high school's tent, sitting over the tent, and Anthony said, "Put your hands on me and see what happens." And the kid grabbed his backpack and stabbed him. And so I think that the defense is going to be that when he grabbed him, he had a right at that point to defend himself. Under self-defense, if you feel that your life is in danger or you're about to be hurt, you have the right to use defense, including deadly force, to defend yourself. The question is going to be what amount of force was necessary at that time to defend himself.
Y'all, some information that I just giving you all the information about the tent. Okay, I just gave y'all information about tent because I know about the tents. Okay, a lot of moms and dads don't know the law about the tent, and they don't know the self-defense law about putting your hands on someone. And I just warn you not to put your hand on me. So that's when the security should have taken place. But I'm not getting into that today. I'm getting into trespassing now. Something else that he said. Deadly force. So I'm going to go back over here. Now, I like what that man, I got to take y'all back what he just said right here. I got to take y'all back to what he just gave. I like him. He just gave y'all a whole lot of information in one if you want to get educated. Because he giving y'all the same thing that I'm saying. Let me start him over right here. I like him. Hold on. Let me see. Let me put it right here. Now. See, when Anthony, this what tripped me out is, let me put it right here. I guess it go back this far, I guess. Let me go back right here. Right here. Now, what tripped me out, y'all, is if you put your hand on me, you'll see what happened. Entering the tent is one thing. To ask the asking the tent is remaining under the tent is another thing. Okay. Now, listen to what he said, and I'm gonna stop it.
And he asked this to be self-defense. What do we know about this? We understand it was a seating issue, a misunderstanding. What have you found out about it?
So it was at a high school track meet, and at a high school track meet, every team, every have a tent, and their players sit under their tent during the game.
Okay. Now he just gave y'all the information the way we set our tents up at the track meet. Okay. So everybody not nice, y'all. Cause it may be a big tent with one person sitting up under there. And they may say, oh, you can sit under here. But that wasn't the case. Okay. You set the tent up. It's up to you to tell me I have to leave. I can sit here. I have to ask you. I can't just go up under your property. That's just like going picnic, and I look over there and you sitting on our food. So now, even if nobody around, I wouldn't set up under the tent. I don't care, rain or whatever. I would have ran up under there, and then, but they walked up, I would have left if they asked me to leave. I leave. I don't mind get wet. Shoot, you're gonna get wet anyway if you out there running and the rain come down. As long as it's not pouring thunder and lightning. Now, all of us set up personal tents. Okay. All of us set up personal tent. I wouldn't want to sit under your school tent and out the rain. No way. If that's me, but I'm thinking in the child. Okay, well, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that. Anthony was sitting under another high school tent. Where was Anthony team tent? We got a long way to go in this. Where was Anthony team's tent? I just been asking that question and ain't nobody answered it. Where is Anthony team's tent? I don't care nothing about the McCaff. They had their tent there. Where is Anthony team tent, Coach? You have a teammate don't want to get out the rain, and you don't have a tent for your teammates to sit. So where's your team? Where's the team? Where's the coaches? Okay. He's sitting under another team tent, which not mean nothing to you people, but it means something to me. Okay? All right. The victim came in and said, you need to get out of our tent. And Anthony told the dude, put your hands on me, you'll see what happened. Now that, I'm not about to see what happened. I'm about to go get security. I'm not about to go through this. Because I don't know what this, for this boy to say what he said. He told me if I put my hands on him and I'll see what happened. So listen to what Metcalf did. The kid grabbed him to put
backpack and
when McCaff grabbed him. I'm surprised McCaff grabbed him like that. He says everything shocked me, but he grabbed him and he pulled him out, and then that's when the kid reached inside his book bag and got a knife as long to touch his heart. That's all I want y'all to hear right now. He grabbed him and put him out.
And so I think the defense is going to be that
when he grabbed him, people, he has the right to react. When McCaff grabbed him, that's the self-defense law. But it's a lot of wrong in this. We ain't getting to that yet. Just trying to break it down for y'all. Okay? When he grabbed him, that's the self-defense team gonna look at this.
Under self-defense, if you feel that your life is in danger or you're about to be hurt, you have the right.
Regardless of how we feel, that's what happened to, what his name? Karmelo. But guess what? This could have went another way. This could have been two parents, y'all. This could have been two parents. This could be a coach and a student. But so happened it two athletes. It happened to both of them. So y'all better look at this law, self-defense law now. Karmelo felt that his life was threatened, in danger at that time, okay?
Deadly force to, the question is going to be what amount of force was necessary at that time.
Now, we about to talk about deadly force. Now, let's talk about deadly force. I know I'm going to say some things y'all don't want to listen to. I don't care. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put it out there, okay? Now, let's get into deadly force, okay? Let's get into deadly force for a minute, okay? Now, when you're speaking about deadly force, we spoke about trespassing, okay? That's deadly force, y'all. Trespassing. Now this, I can speak for Georgia. Now, in Georgia, using deadly force to stop a trespasser at a track meet is generally not justified and could lead to criminal charges. That's in Georgia. While Georgia has a stand your ground law, it primarily protects self-defense and defense of habitation, not generally property defense. Okay. Now, when you start talking about stand your ground law, which allow individuals to use force, including deadly force, in self-defense or to protect others, does not automatically extend to property defense. Now, there are some limitations to deadly force, okay? Okay, limitation, deadly force. He just brought up deadly force to y'all. Now, deadly force have a, excuse me, y'all. deadly force has a limitation. Deadly force can only be used if there is an imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm, and the trespasser must be actively causing harm. Listen, y'all. Bodily harm, and the trespasser must be actively causing harm or posing significant danger. Significance. Okay. Now, trespasser intent. Even if someone is trespassing, it doesn't automatically justify the use of deadly force. This is the same information that this guy just giving y'all. The same information, just a breakdown of what this young man, this guy just told y'all. This is the same thing that he brought, bringing up to you all. Okay. Now,
Now, is that where the stand your ground law applies?
Correct. You understand your ground.
Hold up. I didn't want to start messing up. Hold on, y'all. This. Listen, somebody know the law here. Somebody know the law.
Now, is that where the stand
Hold
your
on
ground?
for a minute. I want to go to right here. I'm glad that I went over some information he telling y'all more in detail.
To defend yourself. The question is going to be what amount of force was necessary at that time to defend yourself.
Now, is that where the stand your ground law applies?
Correct. To understand your ground, you have the right to stay right where you are and defend yourself if certain factors are in play. Were you in fear of your life?
About staying your ground. I'm so glad they educating y'all people, us people. I'm so glad they educating us with the stand your ground law. You ain't got to go nowhere. It used to be time we had to, but now you don't have to do nothing. You have the right to stay right there where you are and defend yourself. In this situation, that's what Karmelo did, y'all. Going by the law, not by Lanita's law, by self-defense law. Y'all got to practice the law. Y'all got to practice. You can say what you want to say, but the law is the law. Karmelo didn't have to go nowhere. He didn't. Not with the stand your ground it comes in at. He has the right to stand back there and defend himself. And it's so hurtful. I know we put out missing our emotions in this. I'm trying to educate the situation. Because my emotion comes in with the doubt in why, where was this boy tent at? Why, where was his coach? Okay.
Where you were, and were you in fear of your life?
What about having a weapon on school grounds? That seems to be a problem. Usually, at most schools I know there are all kinds of notifications that you can't have anything. But usually, I think it says firearms, not necessarily a knife.
I don't know that a knife was allowed at that time where he was. I don't know that that's going to be necessarily a defeating factor with respect to self-defense.
Wow, this thing is messed up. It don't even have nothing to do with him having a knife. This is crazy. That's the law. That's the law, buddy. Looty. Now, Charlie, I am really tripping. Now, it's some things that I would like for the parents to ask questions about at that stadium that I think that they should ask the district about in this situation is, let me do this. Hold on. Put them in there. Because now I'm still not gonna blame my boys. I'm not gonna blame my boys. Now, I'm just gonna put it like this. When you at a football game, you're supposed to sit on your team side. You're supposed to be on your team at the stadium. Your team over there, my team over there. Over here, maybe you got mixed up with your team, so you're on the wrong side. You'll notice once you get the touchdown, you know you're on the wrong side. So that's just like at the stadium for track meet. Your specific tent is your team's specific tent. Now, we're going past that. We already talked about it. Some things that I would like for the parents of the district to ask questions about, and these two young men who don't make the law. Okay? But y'all got to remember that a self-defense law is in place where, like we said, he didn't have to go nowhere. He didn't have to move. He could defend himself right there. Now, look, y'all. This is what we got to ask ourselves to prevent these two guys from having this situation. Were there a police present that day? And if so, were they only on the side where the general public sits? Where were the police? Huh? But we talked about the administrators. When you go to them track meets, you're supposed to have an administrator or either athletic director there. Yes, you do. You're supposed to have an administrator. Where was the administrator? On that assigned day of that district meet, where were the administrators? They weren't at their tent. They wasn't at that tent. Because I'm not about to blame these two boys. I'm going to blame the people that y'all don't want me to blame. Now, another question y'all parents need to ask in this situation of both of these boys. If the track coaches, and we talked about this before, if the track coaches are on the field, then who is overseeing the students in the bleachers? If the track coaches, y'all, since y'all want to blame it on the track coaches, if the track coaches was on the field doing the field event, because, you know, they got to be there early, who was overseeing these two individuals while in the bleachers? I'm going to leave that question right there for y'all. So my question is, in this case, where was the administrators? Where were the coaches and trainers in relation to the tents? I got another question. Are there any signs at that stadium that said no weapons? They better make sure they got them signs visible so folks can see it. Any signs out there at the stadium that said no weapons? No weapons, period. No, whatever. No weapons, no gun, no knife, no nothing. They ain't gonna say no knife. Anything saying no weapons out there. On the outside, on the inside. That's a question, y'all. Now, those questions that I want to know what y'all got to say about. Those are questions that parents should be thinking about asking these people, because their policies got to change now. The policy, these two young men right here, losing that young man's life in the situation that happened at that stadium, this gonna have to change. The policy has to change. Now, those questions I have. Now, I want to get to okay, let's go right here. Let me let y'all see this. Let's go by, let's see what this is saying right here. Hold on, y'all. Let me move this for you. Okay, let's go right here for a minute. Now, I brought y'all right here because I want to know what FRISCO ISD is saying about outdoor facility use. Okay, community members are welcome to utilize certain unlocked facilities for recreational use when the facilities are not in use of the district by the district or for another scheduled purpose. However, use of natural grass surface at middle and high school is prohibited. So they couldn't set up, the team can't, one thing the team can't do, y'all, is set up a tent on the field in the grass, okay? The district does not reserve these outdoors recreational areas. They are available in first come and first use basis, okay? So if you get to the stadium early enough and put your property down, you can do that. That's where you and your team gonna be. Because we do that all the time, y'all. We try to get a good spot. I like the kind of like the middle, almost close to the finish line, so I can time that sucker. But if I can't get in that spot right there, cause that's the best spot at a track meet at the finish line. But I get like close to almost to the middle, okay, and have my stopwatch, okay. And they mentioned prohibitions, things that you can't have. And I was trying to look for weapons. I see all the skateboards and all that kind of stuff. I don't see nothing about weapons. You do have to clean up behind yourself. I don't see nothing about the weapons, y'all. Let's look at this. Let's look at this video. Let's see.
Reduced his bond this morning, being a murder charge after police go high school.
Okay, if you look at this area, this is this team belonging, y'all. This is their stuff. This is where they home at. This is where they sit. They got a lot going on up under their tent. They got a lot going on. I wouldn't want to sit by nobody book bag, because I don't want nobody to accuse me of taking nothing. They got money in them book bags. This is Metcalf area. This is their area. This is their team. You got to go. You got to go. You got to leave. You got to leave, okay? But just because I'm on a friendly style doesn't mean that you're on a friendly style. Okay. I always been the peacemaker. But you can see right here, I wouldn't want to sit nowhere up on it. This whole team. When I'm over 18, I don't even want to sit with them on the football team.
McKinney with more.
Karmelo Anthony left the Collin County Jail in a suit but had nothing to say to the reporters before he got into that vehicle. The district court judge says that she looked at all the factors in this case, him not having a criminal history. That led to her making her decision to run. 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony was silent.
How is this self-defense?
2 days after the family of Austin Metcalf buried their son, they were at the Collin County Courthouse for a bond reduction hearing Monday. Karmelo Anthony is accused of stabbing and killing Metcalf at a FRISCO track meet earlier this month. The case has quickly become national news, drawing a lot of attention, resulting in threats and increased security at the courthouse.
Threats and talk of race war and all kinds of insanity it's not good for the Metcalf family.
Cameras were not allowed inside the courtroom, but
And I like about Metcalf family, he told you all himself, do not put rumors out there like that about all that other stuff that y'all talking about. He said, don't do that. And that's what y'all doing. He said, don't do that.
Anthony family arriving. His father, Andrew, testified in the hearing. District Court Judge Angela Tucker said that she's never gotten this volume of calls and had to have this level of security in the courtroom in her 13 years on the bench. Court documents say Anthony stabbed Metcalf during a fight. When an officer arrived, court documents say Anthony told the officer, protecting myself.
Okay. Like you standing ground law. I'm on the law side. I ain't on nobody's side. Anthony didn't have to move since he felt attacked. Okay, regardless of how we see it,
District Attorney Greg Willis spoke after the hearing.
The judge made the call, and so what's important is what's next, and it's our job to be level-headed, to be fact-based, and to follow the truth wherever it leads.
Anthony's father testified he's taking a leave from work because of the incident, and his wife is a stay-at-home mother with 3 other children. During the hearing, the prosecution brought up the fact that more than $400,000 have been raised for the Anthony family.
So y'all got it. See, when you think about this, y'all, and I told y'all it's a lot of things that I see at this stadium that I can't believe. I'm going to say it again. The way that tent is set up, it's in a walkway. We're not supposed to put out set our tent. That don't get nobody no right to stab nobody. But I just don't understand why the security didn't tell them to move that tent off the walkway right there where you can walk through. It's a lot of things that I see wrong in this picture, y'all. Besides that kid, now we're gonna get into the knife when I get to I don't want to the weapon that he used was long enough to touch his heart. To do that, to react it like you did, why was he was scared? Anthony, I don't want to take this nowhere else, cause his well-being is something that I'm looking at in this situation, y'all. His well-being. And you got captains of the team that has been given a command by us coaches to do, and we shouldn't do that. Put too much pressure on it. That's why you need that administrator should have been up under that tent. It's a lot of wrong stuff. It's a lot of stuff that's why they're not getting into that. What we're looking at, he's talking about the stand your ground and the self-defense. Two things took place. There was a self-defense law, and there was a stand your ground law that happened at that track meet. And then it was a law. You better make sure that they got signs out there saying no weapons. I hope they do, because that is a football stadium. Now, did y'all check that young man dad? Evidently, y'all not checking bags good. Boy, this thing right here gonna get woo-wee. This thing right here can go either way. Check the bag. If the bag's supposed to be checked, why his bag wasn't checked? Huh? Why didn't they see a weapon that strong enough to reach somebody's heart? Huh? Security? Y'all didn't do a good job. Y'all didn't do a good job. And what we don't bring to a track meet is a weapon. This could have happened on the track. This could have happened under his tent. We don't know the state, well, the well-being of the individual, or neither individual. That's why you got to put the authority in place. The coaches, administrators, security, trainer, everybody needs to be responsible for these children up under this tent. They still teenagers.
Question in this case will be, why did Anthony bring a weapon to a high school stadium? It's a question that was asked of his...
You hear that? I just said that. Why did Anthony bring a knife to that stadium? You are protected when you come out there you're supposed to be protected when you come out there to that stadium. Austin didn't have no idea that somebody would bring a knife to the track meet. Nobody bring no knife to the track meet. No one. We don't think about bringing no weapon. But kids change so much. It's so much don't change until he probably ain't the only one have a weapon on him. They checked his bag. Then they so all of this right here is not going don't want it to put they're not going to put it on everything that we overseeing. They're going to put the attention on the law, self-defense, and stand your ground. They are those right there. Because it wasn't supposed, it shouldn't have been where they bring a weapon in there. If you had security, they're checking the book bags. Y'all didn't do a good job of checking the book bag. No telling who else out there got something in there.
That's an understandable question, but it's not something that, frankly, we're prepared to even go into. Now, in the opening statement to the media from the court documents mentioned...
See, y'all, see, please don't get into nothing else, because I still see young children. I ain't worried about them teenagers talking about. I keep seeing them picking on Karmelo verbally, texting. That's not good. But the thing, they are not looking at what y'all looking at, the stuff that y'all people are looking at. The law ain't looking at that. The law looking at the law. In this situation, the law is looking at the law. Now, he's going to get penalized. Trust me. Because I know they got signs. I hope they do. They got signs out there saying no trespassing. No trespassing. Better be on there. And they may have the law in place about the weapons. No weapons. It better be out there. Okay, it better be out there. Now the book bags are telling me that belongs to somebody else's tent. Okay, so when I entered it, I knew that was somebody's tent when I entered up under the tent. But they're not looking at all that. They looking at the law part, y'all. They looking at the self-defense of him grabbing him and him stabbing him. That's what they looking at in this situation. And the stand your ground law came in with the self-defense because he didn't have to go nowhere. He could have defended himself right up under the tent. Okay. I know we said why he didn't get up and go. Because he don't say it and did what they had to do. I would have went and got security. I ain't got time. But you got to remember, we're talking about teenagers.
We'll have to wait and see how that defense will be made in court when things pan out. The bond or house arrest and ankle monitor. She told him to stay off social media, and he has to personally call her bailiff every Friday morning. Not his parents, but him.
His job. Now, lastly, I didn't start this. I didn't start this. I didn't start the video from the beginning. I started in the part that I wanted to see what they learn more about. In this case, y'all, I need y'all opinion. I need what y'all thinking. This is only what I'm seeing and thinking in conversation about what's going on at a track meet. I do see private property there. Why is that blue bag up here, y'all? Why is this up here? What are they covering up here, y'all? Keep from getting wet. What is this? Why are they there? Why did everybody keep coming up there? Why did authority keep coming here? If the authority coming up here, that go to tent, sitting up under the tent, is down here. Y'all get what I'm saying? If he was sitting up under the tent, why that blue cover not here if he was under the tent, y'all? Why are they right here? So is this just nothing? Is this just nothing in this area? There's a lot of things y'all don't know about this case. There's a lot of things that you don't know about this case. So the thing we got to really see, was he sitting right here or was he under the tent? They keep saying he was under the tent trying to stand out the rain. But if this tent is in this walkway right here, why would McCaff them be sitting in the rain? Why would they be sitting in the rain and he's sitting up under the tent trying to get out the rain? That don't make sense. It don't make sense. McCaff them is sitting right here in the rain. That's what you're saying? Or what they send up under their own tent up in the rain? I wouldn't want to be up under nobody else's tent. So they're not going to look at all that, what I'm thinking about. They're just going to look at the law part of this case. They are going to look at the law part of this case, y'all. Self-defense and stand your ground. That's all they want to know. All that other stuff that y'all talking about, they don't want to hear that. Only two things they worry about in this case. And they had to lower that boy bond. I knew the bond gonna say $1 million. They just gonna do that. But I knew it was gonna be raised low like that. But they ain't asking about all that. They just want to know, did the self-defense, was it self-defense? Well, we heard that it was self-defense, regardless of how the force was. How the force was. And he ain't no big person. You know. Your hands is very powerful. And a lot of people don't know that their hands are powerful. My hands powerful. Your hand may be powerful. Some people's hands not. And you don't know how much force that you got on your hand. You don't know how much force that you have on your hands, y'all. But anyway, that's the law, y'all.
concerned about as prosecutors.
That's all they want. Justice, true, and accountability. That's all. They don't want to hear all that other stuff that we're talking about. Y'all putting out there, taking your blood pressure up, playing with the case, being mad. They ain't looking at all that. They looking at the law. They looking at the law, y'all. They looking at the law. Yeah. Okay, wait, y'all don't. It's a fruit that I want to taste, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Papaya. Okay.
And so we will get the facts lead us. There's two sides in every story, and we've only heard.
I told y'all that. I like these folks. It's always two sides to a story. It's a story over here, and it's a story over there. Y'all have not heard Karmelo's story. Y'all have not heard Karmelo's story yet. We have not heard. Only story we heard was his side, Metcalf's side. We ain't heard nothing from Karmelo, but what he did to the police, what he said to the police.
One side, so I would ask, both sides would ask that the temperature on this be allowed to come down. If Anthony violates any of the terms, he will be returned to jail.
I hope Anthony don't mess up. I really hope that Anthony, I'm telling you, bro, don't change your name. Stay off of social media. Do not change your name or nothing. Because get what? They own you, boy. They own you. They own you. You better not get on that place. Look, y'all, social media is what these young people live around. Social media is what these babies live with. How in the world can he deal without being on social media? Whew. Anthony, you better hope you're not on social media under your brother name, under your sister name, playing the game under their name. You better hope, because this, as soon as you slip, these folks gonna be on your bed. God, I hope y'all enjoyed today live. And with me, it's about educating the purposes, commenting the purposes, to criticize the purposes. It means a lot with me on this channel. My reaction is only my allegations of what when you speak of the law, okay? There is a law in place for incident like this to happen to both boys. And this young man been looking the same way from the beginning and at the end. What was he thinking? What was he thinking? What was on his mind? Got to ask that question, y'all. Oh, everybody want to know why? What was the Karmelo? I want to know what was on Karmelo's mind, mental health wise. The reason why I said that because he the one had the knife. He the one had the weapon. So you're gonna ask those questions. Mental health wise, what was he on? I mean, mentally, we got to ask our kids questions. Something stressing him out. Something bothered him. Them boys heard of each other. We still thought they don't know each other, but they heard of each other because they are from the same district. So let's not pretend that. But if you know that's a school that y'all don't even, is it a school that he want to go to? The thing is, and I'm not going to put it on the rain. The question I have is, why did he bring that weapon to that track meet? Okay? I love y'all. Peace. And y'all have a blessed day.